Hey guys, YouTuber 100 here. Alright, and since I told you guys in my last video that, I was kind of, I really haven't, known really what to, really make videos on, which is why, I really haven't, made a whole lot of videos for the last few weeks. I've only made, this past year so far, I've only made, two videos, and we're almost, 3 weeks into the new year, so yeah, so I figured since I don't really know what videos I could really make for you guys, really I don't know what to talk about. I figured something that I could do to just give you guys more videos is to just make another retro wrestling review. Yeah, I know that I've really been doing a lot of these as of late. I usually am doing at least one retro wrestling review every month now. But yeah, that is kind of how I really want to do these. I'm trying to really just make at least one retro wrestling review you a month at least. Is because because there are just a lot of shows I would like to talk about, and plus it really just does really like get me to really just make some more content for you guys. So so I really just hope that I'm really not just making it tedious for you guys by just doing all these retro wrestling reviews I've been doing lately. I know that I've been doing quite a few, but yeah, I just like I said, I just really haven't known really what to really make videos on, and I figured this is an easy thing to do. Retro wrestling reviews are easy for me to make, and just, it is always something I can talk about. So yeah, hopefully you guys are enjoying me doing these. Yeah. But yeah, so for this retro wrestling review, this is going to be a review for Judgment Day 2001. So, yeah, I think that this is just about the only pay per view from 2001 I really haven't talked about yet. I think I've made reviews for just about every pay per view from 2001 now. So yeah, I guess this just completes the cycle. Well, unless you do count the uh British or the European pay per views with Insurrection or Rebellion. I haven't talked about those, but yeah. Aside from those, I think now I've talked about just pretty much every pay per view from 2001 now. So yeah, so I guess this just completes the cycle. I now have talked about well. By doing this, this now means that I've talked about every main pay per view in the WWF from 2001. Yeah, yeah. And as far as the show goes, um, yeah, of course, in the first 4 months of 2001, there were just the good pay-per-views that year. I've talked about Royal Rumble, No Way Out, WrestleMania, and Backlash, and all were good shows. And yeah, of course, Royal Rumble, No Way Out, and WrestleMania were all great. Yeah, so they were really on a roll of pay-per-views. Here's at the start of the year, and even 2001 as a whole was a pretty good year for pay-per-views. Just about every one was at least good, and yeah, there were some that were even great. As far as this one goes, uh, yeah, I would say this is probably the only really forgettable pay per view of 2001. Yeah, I say this one was probably the weakest pay per view of 2001 because yeah, I really don't hear really anybody really talking about this pay per view, and yeah, and I've watched it several times before, and really it's not that hard to see why. I mean, this pay per view, it's not terrible. I wouldn't even really say that it was bad, but yeah, it really just really was not anything special. I mean, it was just kind of it was it was an above average show, but yeah, there's nothing about it that really does stand out really. I mean, well, there is a one great match on here, and there are some good matches scattered around this show, but yeah, it's just very inconsistent. There's not really anything very memorable on this show, but yeah, it's not really a terrible show either. There's not really anything particularly bad on the show except for the first match, but everything else is at least watchable. But yeah, like I said, there's not really anything that really does stand out about the show. It is a pretty forgettable show, and yeah, it just is a show that did kind of come and go because yeah, I really like I said, I really haven't heard anybody really talking about this show, and really I did even right after this show ended, even in the WWF, they never really did really acknowledge the show. I mean, like historically, yeah, they have talked about some stuff from the show. I have seen other various WWE events where they have talked about like some stuff that has happened from the show, but it's not really something that like they really did like always acknowledge, and it's not really like looked at as like one of the best shows of all time. And yeah, and really just it is a show that really just did come and go, and not really anybody really did talk about it afterwards. So yeah, like I said, it's not really a bad pay per view, but there's just nothing about it that really does stand out. But yeah, it's not really a yeah. But if you are like interested, like like I'm sure just about everybody has really seen like just all the other pay per views from 2001. Like those are like very famous shows, and yeah, they are like popular ones that I'm sure everybody has watched. But yeah, so this is not really a must see show. But yeah, if you are curious to check it out, like if you just want to complete the cycle of just watching all the pay per views from 2001, like this really wouldn't really hurt to check out. Like if you have the time, it is at least like worth like the 2.5 hours that it lasts to just like kill some time with. Yeah, so yeah, like I said, not yeah, the only thing really bad on the show is like the first match, but the rest of the matches are at least watchable. So yeah. Okay, so yeah, I guess I'll just talk about the card. I mean, I do like kind of like have a lot to talk about with a couple of matches because yeah, a couple of matches are like kind of long and there's like kind of a lot to talk about. But yeah, so yeah, and I don't really want to make this like like a 40 to 50 minute video. So yeah, I'll just like try to go through the matches as quick as I can. All right. Yeah. So the first match on the show was William Regal versus Rikishi. And yeah, this is really like the only bad match on the show. Yeah, this match was just yeah, this was a pretty bad match. I mean, yeah, Rikishi had like sustained a shoulder injury at the time, so yeah, this match was like really short. Like this match was only like 4 minutes, and yeah, and not really anything happened. It was basically just like William Regal just fighting Rikishi and just trying to avoid Rikishi's ass. Like William Regal avoided the sting face at one point, and when like Rikishi tried to just like drop down on William Regal, like William Regal moved out of the way. Yeah, and you can even like see like during this match, like Rikishi does have the injured shoulder because yeah, he only like put up one arm when he did like the that sort of thing. Like he only like put up one arm to do it. Yeah, I did think it was kind of funny at one point. Rikishi actually did get the stink face on William Regal, and yeah, and just William Regal's reaction to the stink face, I thought it was pretty funny. Yeah, but then like William Regal ended up like getting his head cut open after like he got thrown into the stairs. Yeah, and then William Regal ended up getting the win after he like hit a Regal cutter on Rikishi and was able to pin him. So yeah, William Regal won the match. So yeah, like I said, really was a pretty bad match. I mean, it really wasn't anything special, and yeah, like I said, just yeah, Rikishi's shoulder injury really did like cut this match short. So yeah, it was a bad match. I would probably just give that like 1 star. All right, and then next up, then we had Chris Benoit versus Kurt Angle in a 2 out of 3 falls match for Kurt Angle's gold medals. So the two of them were obviously still continuing to feud at this point. Yeah, and yeah, but yeah, leading up to this match, I did think like the story for this match was pretty funny. Like a few weeks prior to this match, like the way this match came about was that Chris Benoit actually ended up stealing Kurt Angle's gold medals, and then Chris Benoit just like gave Kurt Angle like an opportunity to get them back in this match. Yeah, and it was funny how Chris Benoit like was actually like just putting Kurt Angle's gold medals down his pants, and so just had them like up against his genitalia. So yeah, it was pretty funny that Chris Benoit actually put Kurt Angle's gold medals down his pants like that, just absolutely like degrading Kurt Angle and just disrespecting him like that. Yeah, and it was funny, like on an episode of SmackDown, in like a tag match that had both Benoit and Kurt Angle tried to get the gold medals back. He actually reached down Chris Benoit's tights and he actually did retrieve the medals and he actually did kiss them, which was pretty funny. But yeah, Chris Benoit like ended up like getting them back from Kurt Angle or in that match. Yeah. And so we had this match here. And yeah, like I said, this match was 2 out of 3 falls, and yeah, this was once again. I mean, it was Chris Benoit and Kurt Angle, so yeah, it was a really good to great match once again. I mean, this wasn't. I don't really think this was as good as their WrestleMania match. It probably, yeah, I guess like it was a better match than their 30-minute Ultimate Submission match at Backlash. I don't know. I guess it's a toss up. I guess just like I guess like it really just comes down to really just who thinks what was better here. Like I guess like anybody can really just make the decision on whether like this match or their Ultimate Submission match or Backlash was better. But yeah, nonetheless, this was still a really good, great match right here. Yeah, and yeah, like I said, this match was 2 out of 3 falls, and each fall like was a special type of fall. In the first fall, it was just pinfalls only. Yeah, and this fall only lasted just like about a minute. Like just yeah, after like Chris Benoit like got the gold medals out of his tights and gave them to the referee, then yeah, Kurt Angle then just attacked Chris Benoit for about like a minute. And then yeah, then Kurt Angle tried to like go for Chris Benoit's diving headbutt on him, but Chris Benoit moved out of the way. Yeah, and then yeah, Chris Benoit then just hit Kurt Angle with the Angle Slam and pinned him. Well, yeah, so Chris Benoit ended up winning the first fall right there, and then the second fall was submissions only. And this actually like went on for a while. Like the two of them were just like battling out for a while in this fall. Like yeah, each guy just like was just getting in like just putting on like various submission holds to get the other one to tap out. Yeah, but yeah, they were battling with each other like back and forth throughout this fall. Yeah, I thought it was interesting how Chris Benoit used like some submission holds here that he didn't really use that often. Like at one point, Chris Benoit like got Kurt Angle in a Boston Crab. Yeah. And then at another point in the match, Chris Benoit ended up like getting the figure 4 in on Kurt Angle. Yeah. Yeah, and then yeah, and Kurt Angle also used like some submission moves of his own. Like Kurt Angle like tried to like get Chris Benoit in an armbar, I think at one point. Yeah, and yeah, Kurt Angle was just using like submission moves of his own. Yeah, yeah, but then yeah, then eventually Kurt Angle then like hit an angle slam on Chris Benoit, and then yeah, then he like got the ankle lock in on Chris Benoit. And then yeah, then Chris Benoit ended up like tapping out. So yeah, Kurt Angle won the second fall. And then for the third and deciding fall, it was a ladder match for the gold medals. Now the gold medals like were actually suspended above the ring for this match. So yeah, kind of odd seeing like a ladder match for like an object like that. I mean, I know they have had matches like that before, but yeah, still kind of like strange seeing a ladder match for the gold medals. Yeah. Yeah, and so yeah, and of course, like for this fall, there's no disqualification. So yeah, there was like a lot of usage of the ladder in this fall. Yeah, what I thought was like kind of just weird and kind of stupid was that like early on in this fall, like there was of course like a ladder like set up in like the aisleway as it usually was at this time for ladder matches, and so they're just like going for that ladder. Kurt Angle got a ladder from underneath the ring. Like, why are you doing that when there's a ladder just like set up right in the aisleway? Yeah, but even though like the ladder that Kurt Angle got, it was like a really small ladder, and yeah, it didn't even like get Kurt Angle like high enough to the gold medals. Yeah, but then then Chris Benoit then just like threw got knocked Kurt Angle down, and then he just ended up throwing Kurt Angle into the crowd, and then Chris Benoit got the ladder that was in the aisleways, right? And it was like the typical like tall ladder that was usually used in the ladder matches at the time. Yeah, and there was a lot of usage of the ladder in this fall. Like I think like this was Kurt Angle's first ever ladder match, and I think this was Kurt Angle's only ladder match. I can't remember Kurt Angle having any other ladder matches in the WWE. I mean, do you guys remember if Kurt Angle did have any other ladder matches in his WWE career? Because I can't really think of any. But yeah, this match, the ladder match for this fall, yeah, it was still like real good. Like Kurt Angle actually did do a good job in ladder matches, and I really do think that like Kurt Angle could have like done quite well if he had more ladder matches. Yeah, but yeah, there was a lot of usage of the ladder. Like at one point, like Chris Benoit like just like dove onto like one edge of the ladder, and the other edge like ended up like smacking Kurt Angle right in the face. Kurt Angle actually did like suplex Chris Benoit on the ladder at one point. Yeah. Yeah, and there was a lot of like, just usage of the ladder as a weapon during this match, yeah. And then then at one point it seemed like Chris Benoit actually did have the match won. He actually did set the ladder on top of Kurt Angle, and then Chris Benoit then just like was attempting to climb up to the medals, and it seemed that Kurt Angle wasn't going to be able to do anything. But yeah, with Kurt Angle in the ladder, he was still able to like tip it over and knock Benoit off. Yeah, and then yeah, then at the end of this match, like where it seemed like Chris Benoit did actually like have the match won. He actually did have Kurt Angle in a crossface. He used to like wear him down, but then yeah, Edge and Christian ended up interfering, and then yeah, they pulled Benoit out of the ring and were fighting with him. And as Benoit was fighting off Edge and Christian, Kurt Angle was able to climb the ladder and retrieve the gold medal. So yeah, so Kurt Angle got his gold medals back, and yeah, and I'm sure just about all of you know that, given that like how that Kurt Angle still had his gold medals for a long time after this. And speaking of which, yeah, Kurt Angle, like, yeah, people were really after Kurt Angle's gold medals in 2001 between like this story with Benoit stealing them and like when Stone Cold stole Kurt Angle's gold medals and threw them into the river that year during their feud. Yeah, Kurt Angle sure did lose his medals quite a few times in 2001. Yeah, but yeah, this match, yeah, it was still a really, really good to great match. Yeah, this was definitely the match of the night. Yeah, I would give this 3 3/4. Yeah, and with of course like with Edge and Christian getting involved in this match and screwing over Chris Benoit, it would also uh, carry over to something else that took place later on this night, which I will talk about later. Yeah, but yeah, still, yeah, really good to great match once again. I mean, it's Benoit and Angle, so what do you expect? Yeah. And then next up, then we had a triple threat match for the Hardcore Championship. It was Rhyno defending against Test and the Big Show, and yeah, this was decent enough, I guess. I mean, yeah, it really wasn't like anything that spectacular, but yeah, for a hardcore match, I thought it served its purpose. Yeah, I mean, while watching this, I kind of like saw it being like saw some similarities between this and the hardcore title triple threat match at WrestleMania 17 between Raven, Kane, and Big Show because just it seemed like similar in some aspects because yeah, Test and Big Show actually started going at it with each other before Rhyno even came out, and similar to how it was at the start of the match at WrestleMania 17. Yeah, and then yeah, and for like yeah, for the first like several minutes in the match, like it was like basically Test and Rhyno double teaming Big Show, but then yeah, then like there were points where Rhyno and Test were actually going at it with each other. Yeah, yeah. Then yeah, it spilled to the outside of the ring, and yeah, they started like fighting through the crowd. Yeah, and it just once again did kind of remind me of like what did happen in the WrestleMania 17 Hardcore Triple Threat match. Yeah, and they eventually like just ended up battling in like a garage or a storage area. Yeah, yeah, and then yeah, and what looked interesting is like at one point, Big Show tried to pin Rhyno. Yeah, Big Show like actually did try to pin Rhyno at one point, but he did it in kind of like an unusual way where he actually like held Rhyno up against a wall with Rhino's shoulders up against the wall. Oh, and the referee was actually like making a count. So yeah, kind of like it's like unusual seeing like that kind of like pinning attempt, and it also did like sort of remind me not really of like what Big Show was doing, but like how the referee was counting, similar to how the referee like made the 3 count out when Kane actually did win the title at WrestleMania. Yeah, but yeah, then eventually yeah, Test and Rhyno then just ended up taking the Big Show out of commission for like a point in the match when yeah they ended up just knocking him beating him down, and you know they ended up like knocking Big Show down, and Big Show like fell onto some pallets. So yeah, Big Show was like out of commission for that point in the match. Yeah, and then yeah, Tessa and Rhyno then just like battled it out with each other once again, and then yeah they then like ended up like battling their way back to the ring. Yeah, yeah, and then yeah there was like some weapon use in the match. Like there was like usage of like trash cans and trash can lids and just some other weapons in the match, yeah. Yeah. And they just continued to go at it, and then eventually, like, the Big Show ended up returning to the ring as well. Yeah. And then, yeah, they just continued to go at it with each other, and then in the at the end of this match, like, Rhyno ended up goring the Big Show twice. The first time that Rhyno gored Big Show, it was aimed for Test, but Test moved out of the way, and Rhyno hit the Big Show. And then, yeah, then the second gore was, like, Rhyno, ran like up a piece of the ring stairs that that he brought into the ring, and yeah, just like gored a trash can into the Big Show, and then yeah, then that allowed Rhyno to get the pin, and Rhyno won the match and retained the Hardcore Championship. So yeah, so as a hardcore match, I thought like it was fine. I thought it was like decent enough. It was just kind of like a standard hardcore match. So yeah, I thought it was at least watchable. I mean, it was no like absolute hardcore classic or anything, but it was watchable at least. Like it wasn't like a terrible match. So yeah, I would give that probably like 2.5 stars. Yeah. And then next up, after this, then we had the women's championship on the line. It was Chyna defending against Lita. And yeah, and this was fine. This was a solid match. I mean, yeah, there wasn't really like that big of a story involved in it. Like it was no like bitter rivalry or anything. It was basically just yeah. The story was, of course, like after Chyna had won the title at WrestleMania. And yeah, Chyna just felt like there really wasn't really like any competition for her in the women's division, but Lita said that she would give her some competition, and so then yeah, and it was kind of like and just there was no like tension between Chyna and Lita. Like they did like respect each other and everything. And yeah, Lita was just like wanting to give Chyna some competition, and yeah, and it was a solid match. I mean, this was like Chyna. Yeah, this was Chyna's I think her last match in the company before she ended up leaving. Yeah, yeah. I often wonder like if Chyna would have stuck around. I mean, how would it have gone for her in the women's division? I mean, yeah, because she really didn't get like that big of a run in the women's division. And because yeah, this was her last match, and she only had the title for just about like 6 weeks at this point. So yeah, so yeah, I just like have always like wondered how it would have been if China actually did stick around in the women's division. And would she have eventually like gone back to actually competing against men? Yeah, I mean, yeah, just yeah, those questions were just left unanswered, and yeah, they never will be answered because of course China is no longer with us. Rest in peace. Yeah, but yeah, this match was solid enough. I mean, yeah, just yeah, like I said, there was no like animosity here between the two. Yeah, just yeah, at points like they would just like end up embracing each other during the match. Yeah, yeah, and really just yeah, nothing really. Yeah, there wasn't really like anything like bitter or like no animosity here. Any yeah, just like there was no bitter rivalry between these two. It was basically just like uh, just a match between two people, well, two women that respected each other. Yeah, but something interesting that was like going on, like for like leading into this match, was just like Eddie Guerrero did like kind of get like involved in this a little bit, where Eddie Guerrero like on the previous episode of SmackDown, Eddie Guerrero was just like kind of just was like staring down at Chyna and Lita at the ring, and he was just like applauding. Yeah, and just yeah, nobody really like knew like why Eddie Guerrero was applauding or who he was applauding. Yeah, and really just it was never really revealed like who Eddie Guerrero was really applauding or anything. Because on the one hand, like of course, like there was like the history with Eddie Guerrero and Chyna the previous year with them being like engaged and stuff, but at the same time, like Eddie Guerrero did like say that he really did like see like he did have like some admiration for Lita for like her athleticness and stuff. So yeah, so yeah, and even like before this match, like Eddie Guerrero was like kind of like offering some advice to Lita about Chyna, but yeah, Lita turned it down. So yeah, so that was kind of interesting, but yeah, nothing really came out of it because of course like after this Chyna like left the company, and even like shortly after this Eddie Guerrero was gone from the company for a period because yeah, this was like during the time when like Eddie Guerrero like went went to rehab and stuff. So yeah, so nothing really came out of that. Yeah, and even like during the match, like Eddie Guerrero actually did like come out and just like watched the rest of the match from the entranceway. Yeah, but yeah, and in the end, Chyna ended up getting the win after a power bomb on Lita. So yeah, Chyna retained the title. So yeah, this match it was a solid match, and yeah, just yeah, and like I said, I just like find it kind of unfortunate that just Chyna left after this, and just yeah, we really didn't get to see like anything more of her from in the women's division because I really would have liked to see where it would have gone with her. But yeah, match, yeah, it was solid. So yeah, I would give that probably 3 stars. Yeah. Yeah. And then next up, then we had like the first of the two big matches on the show. Yeah, this was still like during like the 2-man power trip. Yeah, Stone Cold and Triple H against like the Undertaker and Kane storyline. Yeah, and on this show, like yeah, Undertaker and Stone Cold and Triple H and Kane like faced off against each other in individual matches for the WWF and Intercontinental Championship. Yeah, so yeah, so next up then we had Triple H defending the Intercontinental Championship against Kane in a chain match. Yeah, and this was a pretty good match. Yeah, I did like this. Yeah, yeah. I really did think like the chain match was like the gimmick of the chain match was used very well here. Like back when I reviewed a No Mercy 2003, I did like talk about like with the biker chain match how the chain just really wasn't used in like the gimmick for the chain wasn't really used in a really good way. With it just being like on a pole and it didn't even really necessarily be you need to be put to use in the match. Yeah, yeah. Here, like the chain gimmick was actually used like in a much better way because yeah, in this match, yeah, there was a chain attached to both Triple H and Kane's wrist, so yeah, the chain would actually be like come into play in the match, and yeah, and it was like guaranteed that there would be at least be some use of the chain, and in this match, yeah, so yeah, the chain gimmick and for this match it was done in a much better way than like that biker chain match with Undertaker and Brock Lesnar was at No Mercy 2003. Yeah, and yeah, and like I said, this was a pretty good match right here. Yeah, I think this is probably one of the better Triple H Kane matches. Like I've talked about some before, and yeah, they've had like quite a few matches that really weren't very good. But yeah, but this one, yeah, this was like one of their better matches with each other, and yeah, I really did like this. There was like a lot of usage of the chain in this match, like of course like in the weeks like leading up to this, a few weeks before this show, like Stone Cold and Triple H had broken Kane's arm, so Kane's arm was like in a bandage for the match. Yeah, and throughout the match, like Triple H was targeting a Kane's arm. Yeah, just like he actually did like take a chair to Kane's arm in the match. Yeah, and Triple H even like intentionally attached the chain to Kane's broken arm. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. So for the first several minutes of the match, like Triple H was just like trying to beat down Kane. Like he was just using the chain as a weapon here. Yeah. Yeah. And then yeah, but then eventually Kane started to make a comeback. At one point, Triple H like tried to like grab the steel chair, but yeah, Kane used the chain and pulled Triple H like right into the ring post was with the chair, and then yeah, and that ended up busting Triple H open, and yeah, Triple H was bleeding pretty badly there, yeah, and yeah, when Kane went on offense, it was just like very brutal, like yeah, Kane just like used the chain to pretty much just torture Triple H. At one point, like Kane had the chain like wrapped around Triple H's throat or the neck, and he actually like was pulling it up like Triple H was being hanged by the chain, yeah, yeah, and then and yeah, so so yeah, the chain was put to use like a lot in the match. And yeah, it was basically done like the same fashion like those bull rope matches are, where it's attached to one person's wrist. As yeah, and there's like a certain amount of space in between them with that the chain has. Yeah, the chain just had like it was a 12-foot chain, and that was just like as far away they could were able to be from each other. Yeah, yeah, and then yeah, then as a Kane like was really just beating down Triple H. Eventually uh Stone Cold then ended up trying to get involved in, but yeah, Kane was able to fight off Stone Cold as well. But then yeah, when Kane turned his attention back to Triple H hit a low blow on Kane. Yeah, and then yeah, then the ending of the match I thought was kind of funny because they kind of like yeah, it was kind of messed up a little bit where yeah, Stone Cold grabbed a chair and tried to hit Kane with it, but yeah, he ended up like hitting him Triple H inadvertently. But yeah, I thought it was darn funny because yeah, they tried to pull it off as Kane ducked, and that's why the Triple H got hit. But yeah, if you watch it closely, like Kane actually ducks after Stone Cold hit Triple H with the chair. So yeah, I don't know if like just Kane missed his cue or if like that's not how it was supposed to happen or what. But yeah. Yeah, but yeah, either way, like yeah, Kane like ducked after Triple H got hit with the chair. Yeah. And then after that then yeah, Kane then just ended up like taking out Stone Cold, and yeah, that allowed Kane to pin Triple H and get the win, and Kane won the Intercontinental title. So yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, yeah, the chain was really like put to really good use, and yeah, just yeah, chain gimmick was done in a much better way than the biker chain match at No Mercy 2003 was. So yeah, so I enjoyed the match. I would probably give it about I guess I would give it like a 3.25. Yeah. And then next up, after this, then we had a tag team turmoil to determine the number one contenders for the tag team championship, and the tag team champions at the time were, of course, Stone Cold and Triple H. Yeah. So yeah, and this I thought was good. I guess. I mean, yeah, this was probably the best tag team turmoil oil that the WWF or WWE has ever done. And yeah, because these matches can like they do tend to get like tedious because yeah, you just have like all these tag matches one after the other, or until like all the teams and the teams get involved in the match. So yeah, so they do tend to get kind of tedious, but I think this one did it the best out of all the other tag team turmoils. Yeah, so yeah, it started off with the APA against the Radicals, Dean Malenko and Perry Saturn, and yeah, it only went on for like a couple of minutes here. And while I'm talking about this, like as I'm talking about like Perry Saturn here, just what was up with Perry Saturn's blonde mustache that he had at the time? It just looked really weird. Like I thought like just his natural mustache was like a lot better. The blonde mustache that he had at this time, it was just weird. Yeah, and yeah, but it didn't really last too long because like shortly after this was when Perry Saturn like started that "You're welcome" gimmick. But the blonde mustache was just weird. Yeah, but like anyway, yeah, yeah, it was only like a couple of minutes, and then yeah, the APA got a quick win. Yeah, and then yeah, then the next up was the Dudley Boys. Yeah, it was like Devon and Bubba Ray and Spike was in their corner. Yeah, yeah, and this one did kind of like go back and forth for a little while. Oh yeah, the Dudley Boys got like their signature moves in with like the "What's Up" and their other like moves. Yeah, but then yeah, then after like Devon like was setting up a table, then the Hollies, Crash and Hardcore Holly, just came down, and Crash Holly hit Spike and was distracting the referee as Hardcore Holly like gave Devon an Alabama slam through the table. And yeah, after the distraction, then yeah, Bradshaw hit a clothesline from Hell on Bubba, and yeah, then yeah, the APA defeated the Dudley Boys. So yeah, the APA won too. Yeah, and then yeah, then the next team that entered the match was X Factor, and yeah, this was just me personally. Just yeah, I didn't like when X Factor was in the match. Like, I just really didn't like the X Factor team. I just found it to be like pretty boring. Like, just this just seemed like a real serious downgrade for X Pac compared to what they were doing with him before, with like when he was in DX and stuff. Just yeah, after DX, like just X Pac just really wasn't the same. Like he didn't really even have the momentum or the just yeah, it's just like he wasn't really treated like as good in the company anymore. But after DX disbanded, because yeah, with X Factor, I didn't like the team, and even like when X Pac joined the NWO in 2002, nothing really happened with him after that either. So yeah, just yeah, X Pac's career in the WWF was basically done after DX was disbanded. Yeah. Well, yeah. So yeah, X Factor was then in the match. It was X Pac and Just Incredible, well, like officially competing in the match, and Albert was in the corner. Yeah, yeah, and yeah, and basically just yeah, whenever like the X Factor like got beaten down, like Albert would like get involved in the match to try to help them. Yeah, yeah, and then yeah, X Factor then like ended up defeating APA after like Albert like ended up tripping Bradshaw and holding his foot down, allowing X Pac to pin him. So yeah, X Factor advanced, and then next up was the Hardy Boys. It's boys entering the tag team turmoil, and yeah, they just like continued to fight it out with each other. And then yeah, when the Hardy Boys gained the upper hand, and on X Factor, when it looked like they had the match won, Albert got involved again and pulled Matt Hardy out of the ring. And as the Hardys were like trying to dispose of Albert, like as the referee like was distracted with that, Just Incredible, who wasn't the legal man, kicked Matt in the face, and that allowed X Pac to pin Matt Hardy. So yeah, X Factor advanced again. Yeah, and then we really had like the main story of this tag team turmoil, starting where um yeah, there was like the feud between Chris Jericho against Edge and Christian. So yeah, and Edge and Christian were in the tag team turmoil. So yeah, Chris Jericho was decided to enter it also to stop Edge and Christian from getting an opportunity to become the tag team champion. So yeah, Chris Jericho oh, was next in the match, but yeah, he was like, yeah, Chris Jericho didn't reveal who his tag team partner was, but yeah, then when Chris Jericho then came out, he then revealed his tag team partner, and it ended up being Chris Benoit. So yeah, Chris Benoit ended this match with Chris Jericho to get revenge for Edge and Christian screwing him over in the 2 out of 3 falls match with Kurt Angle. Yeah. So yeah, then Chris Jericho and Chris Benoit then went out with X Factor. Yeah. And they were able to like fight off X Factor, and yeah, whenever Albert like tried to get involved, they were able to get him. Yeah. And yeah. Yeah, they were just like continuing to fight it off for a few minutes, and then eventually Jericho and Benoit were able to dispose of Albert, and then yeah, they were able to get both X-Pac and Just Incredible to tap out. Chris Jericho had X-Pac in the walls of Jericho, and Benoit had Just Incredible in the crossface, and they both tapped out. So yeah, Jericho and Benoit advanced, and then yeah, Edge and Christian were the last team to enter the match. So yeah, so the last fall was between Benoit and Jericho against Edge and Christian. So yeah, and yeah, they went at it for a little while. Yeah, Edge and Christian were just trying to use like some dirty tactics here, and then then Edge and Christian tried to like use like steel chairs in the match, but both Benoit and Jericho kicked the chairs right into Edge and Christian's faces. Yeah. And then Benoit and Jericho tried to use the chair on Edge and Christian, but yeah, Edge and Christian were able to avoid that too. Yeah, and then Edge and Christian like grabbed the chairs again, and then they tried to give Benoit concerto, but Chris Jericho like was able to trip and Edge landed face first onto the steel chair, and then yeah, Benoit was able to dodge from Christian and got Christian in the crossface, and he was able to get Christian to tap out. So yeah, Chris Benoit and Chris Jericho ended up winning the tag team turmoil, and they became the #1 contenders for the tag team titles. And yeah, and of course, like they got their match for the tag team titles the following night on Raw. And yeah, and of course, like that was the match where Triple H suffered his torn quad, and of course, like Benoit and Jericho ended up winning the titles from Stone Cold and Triple H. Yeah, and of course, like I didn't even mention, like this was also Triple H's his last pay-per-view for 8 months, because yeah, like I just said, the following night on Raw was when he tore his quad. So yeah. But yeah, this match, yeah, it was a good tag team turmoil. I mean, I didn't really like the X Factor portion, but that's really from personal taste. Yeah, but yeah, the match overall, yeah, it was good for the most part. And yeah, and it was probably the best tag team turmoil the WWF or WWE has ever had. So yeah, so I would give that probably 3.5 stars. Yeah. And then we got the main event, and for the WWF Championship, Stone Cold defending against The Undertaker in a no-holds-barred match. So yeah, this match was just made no-holds-barred just during the show, because yeah, at one point during the show, Undertaker came to William Regal and threatened him to make the match a no-holds-barred match. So yeah, so this match like turned into a no-holds-barred match during the show. And yeah, so as far as how this match was, I saw Lundrick's review of the show, and he talked about this match, and he just said that he didn't really feel that this match really was like all that good. This match just seemed like totally average for him, and he just felt like with The Undertaker as a face and Stone Cold as a heel, their chemistry with each other, it really wasn't as good like this as opposed to how it was like previous years where Stone Cold was a face and Undertaker was a heel. Yeah, and I would probably agree with that. I really do think like their matches were better with like Stone Cold as the face and Undertaker as the heel. I can kind of see why the WWF like kind of like reversed the roles here just to see how it would turn out. But yeah, it really didn't like turn out as good as it was with as it was the other way around. But I mean, it was worth a try at least, right? Yeah, yeah. Me personally, I do think that the match overall it was solid, I guess, but it really wasn't as good as the matches they had the previous years. Like, I really do think that this kind of like when the feud was starting to become stale. But of course, like this isn't their worst match with each other at all because of course the following year in 2002 they had that match at Backlash, and yeah, that was their worst match with each other. Just yeah, that match was just like really boring, and yeah, by that point was when the feud had run its course. And yeah, and right here, I think this was just a sign of like that happening, and just is really when the feud was starting to become stale. But yeah, even then, like there was still like some brutality involved in like the storyline here with like with a Stone Cold really just like making calls to Undertaker's wife Sarah and just like making all like that hoax that she was in a car accident and all that other stuff. So yeah, so it really did like get personal between them, and yeah, you did have like some brutality involved in this with like Undertaker throwing Stone Cold through a glass window and attacking him in the ambulance and all that other stuff. Yeah, but yeah, this match it was I'd say like it was like above average, but it really wasn't like a great match or anything. I mean, just it really just felt like kind of like some standard action here. Like there were like quite a lot of slow spots in the match. I mean, it did start off pretty good with just like the Undertaker just brutally beating down Stone Cold, but then yeah, when Stone Cold started going on offense, like the match was like starting to get like kind of boring. Yeah, you had like Vince McMahon like just sitting at ringside like at the commentary table with JR and Paul Heyman, and yeah, and just yeah, whenever like a Stone Cold was when Stone Cold was getting beat down, like the Undertaker would like come up to Vince McMahon and just like try to go like just scare Vince away. Yeah, yeah. Then yeah, eventually then at one point like the Undertaker did get busted open after Stone Cold hit him in the head with a monitor. Yeah, but then yeah. At one point in this match, Stone Cold did give the Undertaker the stunner, but yeah, the Undertaker actually did survive the Stone Cold stunner. So yeah, so I have said before how like the Undertaker never did survive the Stone Cold Stunner. Well, I'm wrong because yeah, he did survive the Stunner here. I think this is like really the only time the Undertaker has survived the Stunner because yeah, if you look at like historically like all the times that Stone Cold has given the Undertaker the Stunner, the Undertaker really hasn't survived the Stone Cold Stunner, and I think this is the only time that the Undertaker had actually survived it. Yeah. But then eventually, yeah, Undertaker was then just like beating Stone Cold down. It looked like the Undertaker really did like was going to win, and then yeah, Triple H tried to get involved while bringing down a sledgehammer, but yeah, the Undertaker like was able to fight off Triple H as well. Yeah, and then then Vince McMahon when the Undertaker like seemed like he had the match won, Vince ended up breaking the pin. Yeah, and then then the Undertaker then tried to go after Vince. Yeah, the Undertaker then like went after Vince McMahon, and then then the Undertaker then attempted to like hit the Undertaker from behind with a steel chair, but yeah, the Undertaker moved out of the way, and Stone Cold like hit Vince McMahon head on with the chair. Yeah, and then the Undertaker then was like setting up to hit Stone Cold with the last ride, but then then Triple H then nailed the Undertaker in the head with the sledgehammer, knocking him out. Yeah, but then Kane then tried to come out to try to help the Undertaker, but then as Kane was coming out, Stone Cold was able to cover the Undertaker and get the pin. Yeah, and once again, like I don't know if like Kane like messed up or what, but yeah, Kane like they tried to pull it off as like Kane and like it got to the ring, but yeah, Triple H was like holding Kane and stopping him from breaking up the pin. But you if you watch it once again, if you watch closely, you see that Kane like didn't even get to the ring until after the referee counted to three. So yeah, so even if Triple H didn't hold Kane, like yeah, it still would have been too late. Like Stone Cold still would have gotten the pin. So yeah, so I don't know what was going on that night. Like why they like screwed up all these things with Kane, like making it seem like well with a Triple H like getting hit by the steel chair, making it seem like Kane ducked, but Kane actually ducked after he got hit. Yeah, and then with like seeming with Kane like getting to the ring like too late, and after like Stone Cold pinned the Undertaker here. So I don't know what the deal was. Yeah, but either way, yeah, Stone Cold ended up winning the match, and Stone Cold ended up retaining the WWF title. So yeah, so like I said, I do think that the match is like it is above average, but when you compare it to like their other matches that they've had in the past, yeah, it's not as good at all, and it really is a sign that the feud really was becoming stale, and it would just get worse the following year. So yeah, I do think that it was like an above average match, but yeah, it really isn't the classic that like their other matches is is in the past were. So yeah, so I would give that match probably 2 and 3/4. Yeah. So overall with the show, I would probably give it around a 6.5 out of 10. I mean, yeah, like I said, just the opener is really like the only bad match. Everything else is at least watchable, and you do have like some really good matches, like the 2 out of 3 falls match and the tag team turmoil, and yeah, and even like pretty much like everything else is at least watchable. But yeah, that main event, yeah, it really wasn't as good as like they their matches that they had before. Or yeah, and it was a sign that the feud really was becoming stale. So yeah, so overall, like I said, this is probably the weakest show of 2001, and it really isn't that memorable. But yeah, if you are curious just to check it out, if you haven't seen it before, just to complete the cycle of watching all the 2001 pay-per-views, yeah, it won't like really disappoint you. Like it'll like be worth the 2.5 hours it is just to pass some time. So yeah, so not a must see, but yeah, it won't hurt to check it out if you're interested. So yeah. So yeah, so that's my take on it. So yeah, so I guess that's all I can really say about it. All right, so yeah, so I guess this is it for my review of Judgment Day 2001. I know that this has already gone like over 45 minutes. I'm sorry, but yeah, just yeah, given like how much I could have talked about with like some other matches, this probably could have like been like an hour review. So yeah, so at least like I tried to like not talk about it as much as I probably could have. All right, but yeah, so I hope you guys did enjoy this review. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.